Hello, I am Disbrew, and today I've got Gamescom 2021 news for you. Halo Infinite has announced delays, Skyrim's getting released for my fridge, or something like that, and the lawsuit between Google and Epic heats up. But for now, let's get into it. It's that time of year again for Gamescom 2021, and this is shaping up to be quite a big event with Xbox, Bethesda, Activision, and EA all saying they'll attend. So we can probably expect some big games to be announced or at least talked about at the event. Now, it technically starts on August the 25th, but Xbox are having a stream on the 24th just to kick everything off. Now, this is going to be the last big event before lots of the AAA games launch later in the year and heading towards Christmas. So there's still a lot of information to be announced for them, such as Battlefield 2024. This is going to have a beta in September, and we still don't know the date for it, so we can probably expect that alongside Hazard Zone gameplays looking pretty likely, simply because we still know nothing about that. And on top of that, you can expect news about Dying Light 2 with their Dying to Know next edition coming up, and a load of other indie games. Now, one of the games that I'm really excited about, actually, is Saints Row, because although the last Saints Row game I didn't think was very good, the ones before I thought were excellent. So, this is announced it's going to be getting a reboot, and it's going to be announced at Gamescom. I'm really hoping that Saints Row can actually get back on form. So I'm really interested in this announcement, and I'm sure we're going to get some great stuff. So if any of you are interested in new games for the rest of the year, you'll probably find out about them on this, coming up on Wednesday. Halo Infinite has announced that it's not going to be launching with their campaign co-op and Forge modes. Now, these are actually going to come after launch, somewhere in the region of 3 months. And they've said it's simply because they don't have the manpower or the resources or the time to get everything finished. But if they delay those modes, they can get the core experience, the single-player campaign, and the multiplayer modes out on time. And honestly, I know a lot of people will be disappointed by the exclusion of these modes, but I think this is probably the best decision. Nobody really wants a game delayed. It's not great for anybody, the gamers or the developers. And really, it should only be done if you actually can't finish the game, if what you're going to release is a mess. I'm looking at Hugh Cyberpunk. So, actually, if they can get the core game mode, if they can actually get the single-player campaign and the multiplayer mode finished, it really doesn't make much sense to me to delay that just so you can get the campaign co-op released at the same time. So I think if you can release a new game and keep him happy, especially when it's actually going to miss the entire Christmas window if they're going to delay it, then I think this is the best decision and really the only decision they could have made. So I'm not going to hit Halo for this. I think it's probably the best thing they could have done given the sort of time in the year and the situation they're forced into. Let's just hope that actually it turns out that the campaign and the multiplayer are ready and that really they shouldn't have just delayed those as well. Elder Scrolls Skyrim is getting re-released. Again, honestly, they've released it so many times for so many different consoles. At this point, I'm just looking forward to playing it on my fridge. I don't know what else they can do. I don't know how often they're going to do this, but honestly, I'm really fed up. This is the 10-year anniversary, which, as they haven't done another game, you'd think they'd be quite embarrassed about, but apparently they're not. No, this is going to include a load of Creation Club content and some basic engine upgrades to add shiny bells, which really, does anyone care about at this point? They're actually going to have the nerve to charge for this as well, yes. Well, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One players are going to have to pay for this. If you own a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S and you already own the Skyrim Special Edition, then you'll be able to upgrade for free. Honestly, just reading that sentence out confuses my brain and really wants me to go and cry in a corner. I can't believe this is still going on. If anyone's wondering why you don't have a new Elder Scrolls game yet, this is why. Why would they release a new game when everyone just keeps buying the same game they've already played, but this time we're going to have a new light added somewhere in the ceiling somewhere and call it a new edition? It's actually the most ridiculous thing I've seen. The same thing happened for GTA 5. The reason why there is no new GTA is because they're still making so much money out of the old one, and until people stop buying it, we're not going to have a new game. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm not new excited, because this time they've got a load of mods, added them into the game, and they're calling it a brand new experience. It's not, it's trash, and it shouldn't be done, and really, I just wish people would stop paying for this stuff. We have no idea what this is going to cost, but I don't think it should cost anything. If you're going to just celebrate 10 years of not making a new game, then I'm not going to be there celebrating it alongside you. It was back in 2018 when Google removed "Don't be evil" from their code of conduct. And every day since, you kind of think, yeah, maybe we know why. In the latest thing, the battle between Google and Epic has been heating up. Epic is the owner of Fortnite, and they were really annoyed that they had to pay 30% of all of the purchases that happened on their game just because it was downloaded from the App Store. And so when they released their own payment processor, which avoided Google's practices, Google was very quick just to kick them off the platform. That's not news, but what has been news is when the court ordered them to go through discovery and release unredacted files of exactly what they were planning in order to get around this. And they actually have been doing some really dodgy stuff. I don't know whether all of this is above board or not, but it just seems like a horrible decision. You see, Google were actually planning to team up with Tencent in order to do a hostile takeover of Epic. They came up with lots of different strategies about how they could handle it, and this was one of them. Now, Epic is already owned 40% by Tencent, which is obviously a Chinese company. Because they already owned 40%, if Tencent came on board, Google wouldn't have even needed that many shares in order to take some kind of controlling interest. And Tim Sweeney is very annoyed, but it actually gets worse the further you go down. You see, Google had calculated that if Fortnite had left their store, other developers also would have realized, actually, we're getting a really bad deal and we want a piece of that action as well. And this would have cost Google $6 billion. That's why they were willing to do anything. They were going to lose a lot of money. But the creepiest part of this entire story is when Google came up with a plan that they called Project Hug, which is the creepiest corporate language I could possibly have imagined for any kind of plan, especially with everything that's been coming out about various businesses recently. So this was their plan to pay off publishers with various different basic bribes and kickbacks in order to make them stay on. Now, they're only going to be doing things like rebating them 5% at a time, and they were all doing it under YouTube deals and different signatures and stuff, all to try and get them to stay on the platform. Don't look over there. Don't look at what Fortnite's doing. No. We'll give you a little bit extra. Just stay with us. And there were quite a few companies that actually took up these agreements with them. Now, the reason why, if anyone's wondering, Project Hug, it doesn't seem that bad. There's actually been a long time a place where Google in its search algorithm would de-rank websites for the language that they used. And so there was actually an automatic plugin that would reword all of the actual horrible language that Google would de-rank and change them to things like hug. This is why if you go on a TV website, actually some of the ones which talk about like horrible crimes and murders and stuff, it will actually change the language to call them a serial hugger. And that is why when I see something like Project Hug, I'm like, that is creepy. Don't do that. Nobody wants to be hugged by a corporation. No. Stop it, Google. Stop it. Go back to your own slogan. Everyone was a lot happier with that. But for now, that's it from me. If you liked the video, press like and subscribe more videos in the future. And let me know down in the comments what you're looking forward to for Gamescom. What game are you most interested in? And do you hope it's more than a trailer? Or do you think you're actually going to get playing gameplay? Let me know. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.